Hello, everyone. So, summer is officially over. September is here, the fall is here. And as the time goes, we have a lot of changes coming in. The leaves are changing. And, we have Oktoberfest only a month away. So, a lot of the things will kind of start ramping up, but we have right now a bit of a lull of before all the big announcements. Nonetheless, one of the big community member around Blaze, our own Jan Küster, has some interesting announcement today to kind of show you something new that you might not have known about Blaze or hopefully not know. Anyhow, this is episode 54 of This Week in Meteor Dispatches. I'm Jan Dvorak, coming to you live from Prague. And with me here is...
Hey, Jan Küster from Germany. Hello.
So let's jump into the news. Let's see what we have going. As usual, our first story is about security. So what's going on here, Jan?
If you're someone working somehow with RFID cards, no matter if it's on a hardware level or on a software level, you have to consider that there are cards with the Meteor protocol are intrinsically insecure, and they're used among many door systems, for example, in the EU, but also in the US or in India and in China as well. And there are already multiple attacks observed where IoT devices or things that are compatible with the protocol were hijacked and repurposed to spyware or something. And this is not a usual news, but we thought that this will affect people in their daily lives. And sometimes people even from this community may get in touch with these hardware thingies. And we thought, let's put that on a news list. So if you like that kind of news, let us know. Then we will keep you updated in the future with these things as well. And for those who subscribe to our Substack, they will also get the direct link to the news delivered into your mailbox.
Yeah, I think on this, I want to kind of note that this, I have like even a reader on my phone, for example, for my Japanese IC card, where I can, kind of read out the data. It connects to the iOS, everything. And I do recall on, I think, Instagram, I get a lot of ads on a spoofer for these cards. So you can take your card, put it to it, it registers it, and you can then, just have that one little box and just, check which card you want to do. And I think it's just like very easy one step of emulating some other cards. So, it might look, oh, nice. This is, nice, nifty security tool and everything. But then in the end, just found it's actually not really that secure.
Yeah.
So what else do we have happening in tech?
Sorry, I just got distracted because Kelly was just posting in the community Slack that people should join to watch, and I can only confirm that. That's Friday and it's watch time. The next news is about Canva, and I think everyone here knows what Canva is, or maybe you already have used Canva, and now there is one news that might be not so funny for everyone, because Canva is going to have an IPO. It's called IPO? They're going public?
Yep.
Is that? Yeah, so they have this IPO, they're going public, and they just tripled their prices in some regions. And this is getting crazy. So there were reports of price increasings for teams in the US from $190 to $119 to nearly $500. And this is getting way out of hand. And I mean, come on, we are so long in this business already. We have seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah, sadly, this is a very common tactic, kind of increase the prices just before you go public, or usually it's also oftentimes after you go public or after the company is being sold, so that the prices go up to kind of make up for the new owners for the sale and all that stuff. So, and we've seen that in other companies that we have been using as well. So
Kelly was just commenting enshittification, and I can totally agree. This is the how to say, this is the decade of enshittification. It somehow, because it's affecting every sector. Everything you're observing is getting worse, from gaming to software development. Stream TV, everything gets played down by monetary interests, and it just doesn't make fun anymore. But let's
part of that is the AI part as well, that everybody is just sticking everywhere.
I have just seen this week a more in-depth article on the new AI IDE. What was its name?
Cursor?
Cursor,
I
yeah.
think.
Cursor. So and I was looking at it, and I mean it's also closed source, like with the JetBrains and stuff. Although JetBrains is still a little bit more open, and but what I'm seeing here is, and that this is really concerning, and it is also part of this enshittification. You have the tendency that because the good services, they cost a lot of money, that in the future, if this continues, that only people with the with the respective money will be can afford to rapidly and qualitatively program code. And I mean, especially the more whole ecosystems rely on AI tools and so on. And this is a trend I really don't like about, but I will later present something that will help you get around this, hopefully. Let's see.
Let us know in the comments if you had a chance to play around with Cursor and how it works or doesn't work. I just also kind of to the Canva story regarding, because I think they bought Leonardo AI, which I use, which recently.
I didn't know that.
Let me quickly check their log here.
They definitely bought the other tool with A. I'm today not good names. I got COVID. I catch COVID, and I'm feeling not that well. Let me check again what the name was. They bought the other company.
Here we have, they bought Leonardo AI, which on a good way is that I now can in Leonardo AI very easily generate covers for my YouTube, but we shall see how that's going to go forward.
They also bought Affinity.
Yeah, so they have to kind of get that money back. So it explains that.
That's the thing. They need to get the money back. Okay, I'm done with Canva for today. Not for all the time, because it's still a nice tool to work with. But I think we going over to some more software development related news, Jan, right?
Exactly. I have, as usual, we have also some Node news, and that is that version 22.8 has been released. Most interestingly, I think for us, there's a new JS API for compile cache, so that will hopefully help in the future Meteor as well. And what I also find interesting for a testing perspective, there's support for coverage thresholds. So so that's more for the testing area. Other than that, it's just a regular feature release there, and nothing, I think, other than those two really caught my attention.
So what do you say for the coverage thresholds? I think this is something I really like to see more on the native side. I don't know if you've observed my struggle with the Meteor coverage package.
Yes.
The struggle is real. and the pull request is still not merged because we still have some things left that don't work out. And I really love to see more advancements in the native testing and coverage support from Node that would kill lots of churn when using the coverage in tests.
Yeah, with tests and stuff like that, I don't really mind the centralization, because that is not something that I have any particular opinion. So it has to be this way or the other way. I just want it to work. I want it to be painless, and if possible, I don't really want to think about it at all. The only thing that I want to see at the end is that I have the green check mark or some notification that I should add tests for my functionality. My experience so far always has been a painful experience, and that's why I don't really do as many tests as I should. So always try to avoid it because of that.
I can also report a painful experience in regards to testing. I posted this in the forums. There's this React test renderer, which is now deprecated by React, which was an official package by React for testing React, and this is now deprecated, and users should move to testing library, which is not maintained by React, obviously, but by somebody else, but is very close to React somehow. And this is now like, yeah, please, all developers, just go to this package. We don't care about this anymore. This is up to you. Change all your tests and all your code. We know you don't have the time, but we don't care either. And that's just annoying. I mean,
yeah.
This
also kind of goes with the line with, I think, Node 22 adding really or working really on native tests in Node. So it's an interesting direction that has not, or new direction, you could say, in Node on that. But moving on, what should people do, Jan?
Yeah, if you actually like coverage and test coverage like me, and otherwise, sorry, I like test coverage. And if you like us to report about things like test coverage testing and Node.js and Meteor and everything else, then hit the like button, and we can later compare which episodes are liked the most and then adjust our content wise. And with that, I'm giving back to you, Jan.
All right. So first of all, more of a community announcements. Gabs from Meteor Software is going to Lithuania, and he's looking for anybody who is in Lithuania between the September 11th to 18th. So because he wants to, of course, meet Meteor developers over in that area. So if you're around there, let him know, and let's see if you can arrange something. Sadly, he is not going to be making any side trips during this particular trip. So a bit of a sad news, but let us move on to continue to Meteor news themselves. First of all, update on the version 3.0.3, the next upcoming patch release, currently in beta 3. The latest thing is that it will have Node 2017, and big one for all mobile developers here, the latest Cordova packages have been added as well. So Nacho has updated everything. You can kind of read that all in the particular PRs that I started a while ago, but it was kind of like a nudge, that I sometimes do. Hey, I can do the first step, but I need somebody else to kind of finish this up. And this is something of importance. And this is going to be backported to Meteor 2 as well. There already is a pull request on that. So Meteor 2.17 is in the plans. Actually, they just before here, there was, if we look here at the weekly update from yesterday, you can see that next release, mid-September will be 3.04. After that will be 2.17. And we shall see where 3.1 is going to land. We'll have hopefully more information on that next week. And there are some other little things as well. A lot of patch fixes as is usual for patch releases. For me, kind of little one, but I will always like these. Is there is a MongoDB connection telemetry names to indicate that the connection came from a Meteor application. So that's the next release of Meteor coming up. Oh, actually, one little last thing that we've mentioned previously. There is the part, this crazy named support environment variables to modify Meteor project configuration and .meteor ignore for modern bundlers. This is actually first step to make it even easier to include extra bundlers like Vite into Meteor and play with them. And that's kind of towards the goal of having or being able to kind of change those things easier and as needed per project. Moving on to community packages. As promised last week, we have released roles package version 4. Big thing is, if you kind of follow the update towards Meteor 3, then it should not be anything breaking for you. What it mainly does is remove the synchronous function calls from the server and only allows them on the client. And some other, little small fixes here and there. And you can also kind of import from the package the roles collection and role assignments collection. I think we have a typo there, plural, singular. We have to kind of probably resolve that in the future. So that's that. Many thanks to Jan here. Here to Dolman and Harry Adele for feedback and help with getting this released. Also, of note is that Meteor Publish Composite got recently a few patch releases. The last few kind of struggled a little bit, but finally it got all resolved in the latest one, 1.8.12. Where I fixed the npm depends placement in package.js, which was causing some problems on Meteor 3. So that's all for community packages of note. Jan, anything else that you would like to add here?
Are we already allowed to talk about what happens to the roles package, or is this
not
still...
yet? That will be hopefully next week, unless we have some snack.
Okay, then I am teasing everyone here right now. Oh my god!
Yes.
Wait for next week, then you will get a new surprise news on the roles package.
So, with that said, let's quickly talk about what you can do. And I would like to say that this upcoming program by Jan is sponsored by the Meteor team or Meteor software, and you can get, let me get that, as you can see here, you can use the dispatches 60 or -60 or -60. Let me again to get credit on Galaxy hosting. So here it is again, how you get there. You can follow the link meteor.software /dispatches -offer, and in there you just fill in your details and the coupon code dispatches -60, and you get $60 credit for Galaxy, which if you're using the smallest paid container, should last you about 2 months. So you can put everything there. While at it, also, if you like what we are doing and would like to get informed about all this thing that's coming up, for example, our episode for next week is not yet public, because once we put that in public, it will be kind of clear from the title what it's all about. So, please subscribe so you get informed about all the upcoming live streams and everything. Also on the Discord servers, I have put all the streams into the event section, so you can put your interest there and also download that into your calendar so you get reminded as well. And we are looking to increase our viewership and subscriber status so that we can hopefully get into partners program and start reaching out more. And let me see, anything else I have in the notes here? No. So without further ado, Jan, what is it with you and Blaze that you want to tell us about? What is this big thing that I don't know about Blaze?
Yeah, so I was thinking a little bit longer about how to advance Blaze, and there were already discussions on the future of Blaze and things like this, and I was really annoyed that all the big improvements, future improvements for Blaze would require tremendous efforts and cannot be tackled by a small team in a short time. So I was thinking, what is still lacking in the Blazosphere that other frameworks already have, and I if you would mind to share my screen, I also went into the forums topic discussion we already covered quite a while ago, and it's very interesting to see that still many people prefer Blaze, with at least 73 voters. There's still over 40% still preferring Blaze, and this is a quite clear number and quite a clear statement that Blaze is still strong in the community. But what is it lacking? And there was this sentence, especially here from Max7, that Blaze is missing. Where is it again? Oh my God, now I scroll away. That's not so cool. Basically, it was that Blaze is missing things like components or design systems. And I decided, like, maybe I can find a way to build such a design system. Maybe it's not that hard. How do these design system in React work? And then I researched a little bit and looked up some comments from people, what they like, and I looked up on SHA CDN UI framework, which is very common use and very popular, which itself builds on top of an headless framework. And I was thinking, like, okay, I don't have the capacity to build a headless UI component framework, but I could take a look at how the components are actually built under the hood for SHA CDN, because it's like Tailwind and then just gluing things together, right? And so I was thinking maybe I can build some opinionated components, because that's what people wanted to see, at least what I understood from the community. People want to have out of the box opinionated stuff to immediately start working with. And then I experimented a little bit in Blaze, and I really found it much easier than I expected to add Tailwind to my Blaze project and then create these components like we have here, just with some neat abstractions. And then I came up with something called the Blaze UI, which is a upcoming package I will publish with some pre-designed components like with SHA CDN. So I 100% oriented on how they designed the components and the logic and all that stuff, and then just transferred that logic to Blaze, applied the Tailwind styles, and then you get these things like an alert, and then there's also the code, and it makes use of the same concept of a variant, like there is the normal, the default variant, and the destructive variant, for example. And the nice thing is, in Blaze, you don't need to write things like class name and stuff. You just add class, and under the hood, it's resolving all that together. And it's the same structure as you can see here. So it's your alert with the variant and my custom class foobar, the title, the description, And this is exactly the same as how it's here. The only difference is here we have named icons. I just used a font awesome icon being placed there, but the rest is structurally identical. And I created a few components over the weeks now, and in my spare free time. And there were things like the alert, an aspect ratio, which is a nice wrapper about any content you're placing in there. Currently, this is a very weird 20:7 to make it looks a little bit not too big on the screen. But of course, you could change that to 60:943, whatever you need. Of course, badges, you need badges, and these are all the supported variants. And I will go into the code a little bit to show you how that works, because that's the interesting thing here. You might think, oh my god, having these, it's so much to manage. No, it's very easy, because Blaze is so extensible and flexible, and we could even now create a custom component. Maybe I have the time left and create a custom component at the end. But as you can see here, these badges, that's easy. It's just a badge with the name, and sometimes with a variant, secondary or outline or destructive. That's the I'm just following the theming concept of the SHA-CDN here. And that's the same with the buttons. You have a card, and inside the card component, there are already some input component I already also created, and that's the code here. While like label and input I already styled. That was like 10 minutes effort or something. That was nothing big. The biggest effort is still yet to come, but these are working quite nice. And of course, some headlines, and then it's also some with anchors. So I also created something like an anchor component where you just add the href here, and then it makes your headline automatically an anchorable entity. Having a label for this. Tables, I first thought, oh my god, it's so much. It was pretty easy to style the table, and this is exactly the same as the table here. So let's give me it's the same. It's exactly the same table, and it's also the same structure for the table here, like with the caption, the header, the row, and so on. It's the very same structure. I have a text area. There's a toggle. The toggle is also used here in the light and dark theme. Oh, magic! It's immediately switching. That's the tailwind magic, right? And of course, there are these skeletons, like these moving, pulsing elements, and then there's a switch. So it's maybe not 100% complete yet, but this is the beginning. And there are many more to come. And why I'm presenting that. So there are two things here I wanted to ask. The first thing is, if this is something the community might want to jump on and work together with me on a free core, and maybe whoever wants could also use this to create, I don't know, paid pro components or entire themes, because it's not that hard to build something here upon of that. And if so, then I would like to advance in this direction. And in order to show you how easy it is or how it works under the hood, let me switch to my IDE first. So I created basically two packages. One package is called Blaze UI Core, and one is Blaze UI Components. Because you can also use Blaze UI Core without using any of the components. You can style it entirely on your own, create your own components. The core package is only there to help you resolve your components and write components in a very fast and easy way. And let me open one component to show you how the code for an alert looks like. So This is all the code to define the alert components. And now you might be thinking, maybe let me zoom this even a little bit more. 200 is okay. So this is the code for these alert components I just showed you. So there is an alert title, and an alert description, and then there is the template for that. And that's it. So every of these components has a content block. This is similar, like, you know, in React, or in like in React, it's like props children. When you pass the children on, in Vue, it's usually called slot, and then you can pass sub content in there. And we have, on every of these components, we have an attributes helper. And here it's the thing. This is what the library does. It abstracts away the attributes resolution for you. This is what React does as well. It's just in Blaze, it's very explicit, and you usually do that on your own. It's very verbose, and it gets even more verbose when you use tools like Tailwind, you know, when you have thousands of classes assigned. And there are nice tools in Tailwind, actually, something like Tailwind merge and CLSX and something like this, where you can conditionally add classes, merge them together, and something like this. So under the hood, it manages all the current needed classes for you. And what I did is I just changed this to a descriptive style. You have a component, for example, the alert. You have some base attributes. You have your base classes. You can or cannot, you don't need to define these variants. And for these variants, you have these classes, and all the rest is resolved under the hood reactively, and only reactively if something changes. That's the good thing. So it's also rendering performant, and that's most of the stuff for these alerts. These are simple components. So what is about these components where interaction is involved, like the switch or the toggle? So let me show you again. There is this switch. This has a certain state. It's off, it's on. And it's also, you also want this switch or these toggles to dispatch an event, of course, because if you look at this here, this theme, you want the overall program react to the state of the toggle, right? So you need to also make other components able to listen to it. And in Blaze, traditionally, you don't pass a callback like you, for example, maybe do in React. In Blaze, you usually listen to an event that is dispatched using the event map. And for that, let me open the toggle component to show you how it looks like. For that, the toggle component is a little bit more complex, but it still defines, it's still comprehensible. So when I'm open the toggle HTML template, you can see here, this is just a button with very specific attributes, and a content block where also the state of the pressed state is passed additionally. And if you look back into this component, that's the same as in the alert. You have some classes, you have some variants. And here, in this case, attributes is a function, because the resolution is a little bit more complex and requires to involve the state of the component and make decision on the attributes based on the state. This is something I cannot 100% abstract away. That would be unflexible. But in that case, it's working fine, because here, for this component, for this specific case, I'm overriding this and decide on my own what type of attributes are attached based on the current state. And then you can see these uncreated helpers events. Excuse me. And these are the functions you usually pass to the template. Sorry again. These functions are basically what you write when you write your Blaze template. And here in this event, the click of the button, which is scoped to only this button, there we have the actual pressed logic, and then we have two ways to bubble this event to something to other components. Either they pass in a callback to listen to it, which I usually not prefer in Blaze, because Blaze is just not well designed for that way, but maybe people want to do that, so they can do that. And the other one is just dispatching a native custom event with the value. And then you can, in Blaze, you can scope down easily to listen to any of these components. So in my main application, I have just listened to this. So this is a toggle, and then I'm listening to this and changing the theme based on the toggle. And I can go into more details if you want, but I think let's first do a little bit on a discussion here, because maybe Jan, you coming from the React side, you're the React you are the React developer here, and what do you think about this? I know that you're maybe not too deep into Blaze, but what do you think about this whole idea and what I just presented to you?
Well, first of all, I think it's quite a good time that Blaze would get some UI library, because that's definitely going to help speed up things a lot. So from the other aspect, I really like the idea. Of course, you will have kind of bringing things over is going to potentially create some issues of, you could say, React approaches versus how things are done in Blaze. As Kelly pointed out, that he was a diehard Blaze until he was forced to use React and realized that things that Blaze made complicated just became simple JavaScript in React. And I would probably say, from what I'm in from Blaze, it's not such a cut and dry story.
I can totally understand that, and when working in React Native, I feel in some places I feel much more lifted, and weight gets off of me when coding components there. But also it comes at a price when complexity hits, and this is where I was thinking, oh man, like context providers for any stuff and consumers and stuff, and managing all these things, then where I'm also missing great IDE support and stuff. And I was thinking, maybe I can use this library to exactly abstract away these problems with Blaze, like this overhead, writing templates, something here, writing templates, something there, and just reduce the overall complexity when working with UI components. I mean, this is clearly component focused here, and not right now, not focused on designing entire pages or managing pages or managing state beyond what's encapsulated in the component. And I wanted to make this process as easy as possible. And I haven't tried it in one of my projects yet because it's very new. But I hope this is exactly tackling exactly these things, these extra writing in Blaze that feels complicated and overheaded, to abstract that away. That was my goal here, because I want to have these nice UI frameworks and these Tailwind based component frameworks. I want to have them as well in my Blaze application,
Yeah. So what are the next steps? What is going to release and all that stuff?
Yeah, so the first thing of all is I will flesh out the core. So there is this core package here. So when we look into the core, there are some more things under the hood that works together with all these class variants, authorities, CLSX and stuff that automates for you or abstracts away for you this whole, okay, what classes are now active, inactive, and so on. Make it compatible with whole theming and stuff to make this more understandable and comprehensible so others can work on the library as well. Because right now it's like my architecture from my mind, and it's maybe if somebody from outside is coming in might get confused, like what is this, what's the role of this function, and so on. So I will restructure that, add some documentation, and then at the very first use register this Blaze register, publish the Blaze UI core package. And then the second one would be to publish the components But as you can see, there are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14 components. My goal was like about like 20 components, like the 20 most common used, or like the minimal set of components that you need to build like a decent UI with this. And there's one more thing that's missing before publishing it, and that this is the effort the users still have on their side, because there is things I can't abstract away, and this is this whole template configuration for a Tailwind configuration. And once I have documented this already, then I'm ready to publish the first version of this package, and then I hope to promote that. I hope that this will be picked up somehow by the community. There will also be a forum post, and yeah. So it's. Let me show you one more thing. Oh, yeah, Kelly was commenting, where's the date picker with date range capabilities? You mean like they have a date picker here, right?
Might be under input.
Here, right? But this they just have a simple date picker, or do they have a complex one? Date picker? No. Data range picker. Oh my god. Okay, they have a data range picker. Okay. I get it. Actually, I found that most of the styling stuff is pretty easy, because this is just copying the styles. I know, Kelly, that you were just playing, but the thing is, actually, just to let you know, so I'm usually not a copycat developer, but I'm very bad at styling things, which is why I would love to use a UI component library, because I have not that skill in this whole CSS and styling area. And it was pretty easy to look up how Radix UI, that's the headless UI under the hood of SHA CDN UI, works. And that's mostly logic, and the logic stuff I can implement easily with Blaze, because these components are not logic heavy. This is most very simple states there. And the more hard part for me would be the CSS and Tailwind part, and that's the thing. That's all defined there. I just copied these classes, which is why it looks like that. This is why these components look like the components from here, because it's just the same classes. And I mean, that's all legal, because all their website and their components and everything is MIT licensed, or Apache 2.0 licensed, I think it was. So it's all good. Yeah. Let's see how much I can come up with as a core package. And I mean, if there is stuff that is more complicated, then let's see how that works out. Maybe I'm also adding a few pro components, because as Alim said, it's not all it's all free and free work, but sometimes we need to live from something, or buy us some nice things from something. So let's see. But remember, I will take big care about this and not give in to the enshittification. This is something we're not about here. Okay. One last thing. If you're interested, I would just show you in the demo project how to add a custom component, because it's pretty easy. So when I'm on my main page here, this is my main page from the demo project. There is this main.js file, and I already imported from the core library here, import Blaze UI from Meteor Blaze UI core. And then there is this function called blazeui.register, which I'm using to register all the components in one hand. You could also import each of the components using dynamic import, which is working very good in Blaze, and then just register them one by one. You could also, by the way, define your own variants for a component. I just didn't talk about this, but you can just make any component that I created there and just change the variants or add a new one. Here I added size with certain variants for the size, but this is not what it's about. Let me introduce a new template, and let me say this is a new component called, what's a good component, Jan?
Well, we already had the datetime picker mentioned, so
okay, this will be hard, but okay, let's say this is just a date, okay, and this is input, and that's so, and boom. So this is let's call it date picker. Okay, then I have the template with the date picker, and then I have here my date picker, and the name needs to be exactly the same because this is under the hood used for templates resolution. What's a good class name for the date picker? Let me check what's their styling of the class name here. Just let me check to find their UI page, and then let me check how they used it here. Date picker, where is the date picker? Why is it not here? This is weird. Okay, they call it calendar, right?
Not calendar is, I think, something different.
No, here it's called date picker, and here under the hood it's called calendar. Okay.
Or is it?
Okay, the class names are pretty wild. I think I will not be able to copy that by hand. This is a little bit more. Oh, and they use React date picker, so this is even a much differing, a much different component here. Maybe we go into another component, Jan.
Yes, let's see. Let me quickly jump what they have. Let's see what you have or not. You already have the skeleton, I saw. Do you have the progress one?
I don't have the progress yet, but let me take a look if I can do that. Okay, progress.
Yeah, it's just a simple progress one that should be with the value.
It looks simple. That's good. Okay, let me check on the progress. So, so there is a primitive in the root, and there is an indicator, and these components are usually just diffs in the root library. So let me copy these. So that's the progress root actually, and this is a diff with some attributes, and then template.content block. Well, let's keep it progress for now. We don't need to be that diff class equals. Let me go incrementally here. So that's the indicator. There's the indicator working with these relative styles. So this is something we have to assign dynamically based on some kind of state or transition. Let's be plain here first. So this is how I approached it, by the way, first. So I first added these classes here and just looked at it, how it worked, like not dynamically, but statically. Style equals, and then we have here some transform translate x for, that's not for this one, that's for this one here, for the inner one, transform, and then what's the value here is like, let me move that away, and my minus 50%, that might be a good one. And so this should be a static thing. So we defined the template, and then let's see how the progress first of all looks like. And I bet you there is an error, and there is an error as always. There is an error. No template name progress. That can't be because I defined the template here, the progress template. What is going on? Why you're doing this to me? Okay, let me check one thing.
Was it in the...
Oh, because it's inside the body. Sorry for that. So now it's outside the body, and then we have our and there is a progress, and this looks even nice. Okay, so we can make this work now by defining that component. What we need here is basically this value to be animatable and changeable, and of course resolve these classes together with the updated thing. So here we should have these base classes for the progress component. Okay, that's the that's the name progress. These are the base classes, and then we have some progress indicator. That's the component that will be wrapped in the progress indicator, and then we need these classes as base class. Yeah, but now because we have some value here, we need to resolve the attributes on our own. So we have these reactive data that's coming in. We don't have any state, but we have data coming in, and we have to get this style attribute being passed back. So in the end, it has to look something like this, and then transform translate x, and then minus value here. So this is where we want to get at. Okay.
Yeah, you have a typo there. Careful.
Value.
And below
so
as well.
What we need is there is a helper. I have this helper here in some of the other. It's called style. So const styles equals plays UI dot styles. This is the helper you can use to extract the meaningful data, because you want to also pass arbitrary arguments to it. It's like the props spread, you know, on so it's like const options and rest equals styles dot extract from data. So this is basically looking at what are the most important options here, because you just give me a second. My rest and the value is coming from the class name, right? Class name, options, and rest. So just give me a second, because correct. Now I have it. So it's called class, and this class is styles.merge. And here it's merging the progress indicator.class. That's the base class, but we want to merge it with our custom passed class. So this is allowing me to write things like to overwrite classes, to write things like class equals and then like x10 or something, and then merging these together here. And the value is actually, I can also use the data dot let's say called data.value, and for this I should be something like value equals 75. I hope this is working out now. And then we need to pass in, so this is actually another template. This is its own, as we define it, progress indicator. And then let me move that. And this progress indicator only has the attributes. This one only has the attributes. And now it's very important. This one is calling progress indicator. And then value equals this dot value. Very important, because we need the progress indicator to receive the value, because we don't want to define this. We just want to have this in the parent component. Let's look how it looks like. It's not there at all. Why am I totally not surprised about that? Just give me a second again. Oh, because I forgot something. Blaze UI. dot register, and then progress and progress indicator. Let's see if that's working out now.
Some
Okay,
error.
some weird stuff I really don't want to do here, and it might have to do with this. Let me check again. Starts.merge. That's all good. Oh, there is at least it's at least accepting my MX10 already and making it somehow weird. So this is working somehow. I just don't know why the value is still not working. But let me quickly check on what's here in the data. Sometimes I still have the scope not right. Value of 75. Why it's not? Why you're not showing my value here?
Could it be? There it is.
Oh, maybe
Because
there's something missing. There is something maybe missing in the styles definitions, but I hope everyone gets.
Yeah,
the
I think
idea.
that will have to do with the minus 75% and all that stuff. That might be a bit how they manage that. So that's pretty cool. But it's time to move on. So, feel free to reach out to Jan or be on lookout for the official announcement as this progresses. So thank you very much for sharing. And I want to do a quick shout out. This was just on Slack before we came online. Vlad Lasky is asking for help to upgrade Iron Router to Meteor 3. So if you are still using Iron Router, definitely reach out to Vlad Lasky to, get together and get that thing upgraded and everything. Or an option you can at least move up to Flow Router Extras. And with that said, let me quickly find my bearing. We have a message from Alim before we go here related to my trip to Japan. So let's hear it.
Hey, this is Alim from the MeteorJS Dispatches podcast. Our co-host, Jan, you know him as Storyteller, has been invited to the Linux Foundation's Open Source Leadership Summit in Tokyo. Meteor has been absent from major conferences for years, so it's a big honor to share the stage at one of the most important ones. As you can imagine, making the trip from Czechia to Japan, getting to and staying in Tokyo is expensive. So if you'd like to help Storyteller make the trip by defraying some of the costs, you can do so by going to his website at https://jandvorak.me, which is spelled JANDVORAK.me/Japan, and making a contribution. Anything that you could do to help him out would really be appreciated. Thanks again for watching and being part of our community.
I just want to do a quick update on that. I'm still preparing that website, so it's not yet online. But if you want to, you can right now go to my GitHub sponsors, StorytellerCZ, and sponsor me there. That will also, all the money this month and next month will go towards a trip. And I'm planning hopefully to finish over the weekend that website. So, we can contribute specifically for the trip as well and kind of keep up to date of what's happening. I also have on my YouTube channel, I have a new playlist where I give kind of bi-weekly updates. Yesterday, I didn't made any because we sadly had a death in the family, which is related to my next announcement. There will be no stream next week because kind of will be dealing hopefully with that, and also previous also had some other arrangements. But after that, that would be at this point in 9 days on September 16. I will be, let me put it up here. I will be doing a stream on Meteor generators and all the fun with that. So definitely check that out. That's on Monday at 4 p.m. Central European time. So pretty much around this time, minus half an hour, wherever you are. And with that, Jan, anything else from you?
So far, not. I was still struggling with the with the component, but I don't know why I can't the thumb to work. But that's another problem now. I hope you've realized the potential for this library, and I will next week post in the forums, and then we will also get back to it in another episode, I hope.
Awesome. And with that, everybody, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week with our mystery announcement. Ooh.
Yes.